You know how men, on average, if you ask most men, they're attracted to one feature on a woman, and it is going to be the glutes. Just a firm, nice booty. Now, what if I told you women saw exactly the same with men? For the most part, a lot of women, they have actually done studies on this. One of the most attractive traits on men is a nice, firm butt. So the first thing that you probably are not even doing is working on the glutes.
Rogers, I almost forgot that suit did nothing for your ass.
As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
That is America's ass.
I want each and every one of you guys to just not have anything crazy. I'm not going for a BBL, but I want it to be firm. I want it to be on point with the upper body. If you're jacked, you got the six pack, but then your booty is just flat, women are gonna get turned off. Another very attractive trait with men is going to be strong, veiny forearms. This is why girls specifically are attracted to men who roll up their sleeves, because it's supposed to reveal those strong masculine forearms. This is why you need to be doing your wrist curls, which I do 1 to 2 times per week, as this is dramatically going to enhance those forearms, especially if you genetically have skinnier wrists, anything like this. It is a must that you have very defined forearms. Women actually notice one way that men walk, and this is going to be called your gait. More specifically, I want you to have a strong, heavy gait. You know, whenever like a giant is walking, it's almost stomping. It's like hoo, ha, hoo. I want you to have a little bit of weight in each step. You're walking with a purpose. You're walking on a mission. You're not walking like, oh, let me tiptoe. I can't make any noise. I want there to actually be a little bit of weight in those steps. I'm always talking about the neck, how it should be the same width as the jaw, but more specifically, something that girls are attracted to is going to be the striations, this entire neck area, the Adam's apple. And whenever the muscle is lean enough to see, like just working out your neck alone is not enough. You need to be at a low body fat percentage. Then you have that muscle, and it's just something that's peeking through. It's like a little baby bicep on your neck, and it is so attractive. Something you might not even think about is going to be the hands. You know how whenever you're on a date, you compare your hand size to the girl, then all of a sudden she gets turned on. Yes, big hands are going to be attractive. This kind of comes down to hormones, testosterone throughout development. But another thing is strong hands. Like you can see when a hand is more muscular, there's more strength in this hand. So one thing you can do, get one of those hand trainers and just leave it around the house, man. Whenever you have some free time, you're just sitting there watching some Netflix, start working those hands.
That's what she said.
Walk past a girl and she doesn't really catch your attention, but once she actually walks past you, you get a whiff of how she actually smells, and all of a sudden this in itself is enough to turn you on, to kind of seduce you just from that. And obviously, women are the exact same thing. Scent can trigger emotions, attraction, so much, which is why having a signature scent and knowing what fragrances to wear for each occasion is going to be crucial. And if you're gonna go up to a girl, if you're gonna go on a date, I cannot exaggerate how important it actually is. They took average people and they put an attractive scent on them, and automatically they became more attractive. So for example, this is like a really good daytime one. This is Creed Virgin Island Watered. Just 5 to 10 shots. You walk past a girl, she's always going to smell this. Something you might not think about is you're stretching and reaching. So more specifically, like whenever you're reaching something on the top shelf or just stretching, whenever the shirt comes up a little bit, shows those abs, any definition that typically they would not see. This is very, very female gaze. You can even fake this a little bit in interactions, meaning do a little bit of stretching or reaching for something that you don't necessarily need to. And I'm telling you, if you're chiseled, this is gonna be a huge, huge turn on. Whenever you're standing straight up, maybe you got a tank top on, a very tight shirt, whatever it is, girls will notice one thing in particular, and this is actually going to be the lats. They can see the lat development from the front. So naturally, if you've got a wider stance, those lats are just kind of creating that V shape. This is so much more attractive. They've actually done studies. Women orgasm much more easily and much more effectively if a man has a strong shoulder to waist ratio. Having lats that are visible from the front is one of the most surefire signs from her perspective that you are pretty shredded, man. So you better be hitting those weighted chin-ups. If you're on a date, you're talking to a girl, whatever it is, she says something to you, a lot of guys just start blabbering, just talking. I want you to have a pause. I want you to think about it and have a very controlled response. This shows that you're not anxious to get this out. You're not too concerned with what she's going to think about that little amount of silence. And during this little amount of silence, this is actually going to give her some time to reflect even more on herself. It will make her a little bit self-conscious, which is what we kind of want to go for. And overall, it's just a very masculine thing to do, to pause before you answer, before you speak. In the realm of booty cheeks, there is actually an insertion that is going to be more attractive, and this is going to be a high hamstring insertion. So whenever the hamstring goes much higher up than a typical one, overall, this just looks much more attractive, especially from that side view. Boom, it's killer. I don't know what it is specifically, but I've always had cold hands and cold feet, but then obviously my core is typically warm. But for whatever reason, this triggers like a nurturing thing with a lot of women. When they feel your hands, they get concerned, they get worried. They're like, oh my gosh, you have cold hands. It kind of goes into that vampire aesthetic quite a bit. So if you have this naturally, women are attracted to it. And I would say that it's not a bad thing, unless obviously it's a health issue, then you should be concerned. A lot of you guys are not really consciously aware whenever you're chewing, for example, but whenever you're in a date, whenever you're with a woman, she's going to observe just about every single thing about you. Now, if you're chewing, you're like really anxious, maybe your mouth is open, whatever it is. This triggers to her that you might not be very confident. You're not feeling too sure of yourself on this date. But if you chew very slow and deliberate, it sounds goofy, but I'm telling you, this works. This is a much more attractive trait than just something you don't think about, but try it out. Kind of in that same realm is going to be your breathing. So whenever they can tell that you have deep belly breaths, just it's way more masculine if you were to have those really shallow, just, oh my god, what's she think about me? Oh, what do I say next? What do I say next? If you have not caught on to a theme, a lot of women are attracted to strong, very masculine, calm, and calmness is going to be the key with getting just about any girl. That obviously combined with attraction overall. Obliques are a very attractive feature, but it's something a lot of you guys don't actually know how to do. So having strong defined obliques actually comes down from having a low body fat percentage, and you'll build up the muscle enough from your typical compound exercises such as weighted chin-ups, things like this. Now, in the past, like I have done, I've actually built up my obliques quite a bit, but what this does is it gives you a blocky waist. Ever since I stopped training obliques, my overall midsection got way more steady, and it improved my V-taper drastically. So be lean enough to see the obliques because they are very sexy, very attractive, but don't make them blocky. Obviously, supplements are going to be one way to make yourself much more attractive overall. Your face, your height, freaking everything. I've got two of the best supplements for this overall attractiveness optimization from my company, Kalosique, on kalosique.com. So first of all, it's going to be Titan Growth 2.0. Now, this has 500 to 1,000% of all your daily required nutrients because 92% of Americans across all social classes are deficient in basic vitamins and minerals. When this happens, your IGF-1 human growth hormone shuts down, closes your growth plate, so you can't grow as tall as you're supposed to. Your face is not going to develop the way it's supposed to. Overall, you have to be taking Titan Growth 2.0, and you need the best testosterone booster on the entire market, Aries Rage, which has Tanga Ali, which boosts testosterone by 37% after only 4 weeks. It's got Maca, which has been scientifically proven to enhance overall sexual vitality. It's got Zinc, which is a precursor to creating testosterone, also in clinical studies, has been proven to increase height as well. It's got Oyster Extract. It's got Boron, which increases testosterone 28%, decreases estrogen by 39%. Everything included to boost testosterone to the fullest. Don't forget to join Kalos VIP. This is my school of Looksmaxxing. With my 3-hour Looksmaxxing masterclass, 2-hour high growth masterclass, female nature masterclass, social media masterclass. Right now we have the aesthetic physique masterclass. Every 2 weeks we have a group VIP call. Right now it is only $12, typically $55. Link in the description. When you're holding eye contact with a woman, the eyes never lie. If you are anxious, she's going to be able to see that. Whatever it is, she's going to be able to see it. So I want you to hold a very sensual gaze. Andrew Lincoln, the guy who used to play Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead, used to have a term called IFing. I want you to IF her in a very calm, sexy way. I don't want you to do it in a way to where she's gonna think you're a creep, a weirdo, anything like this. And always remember, a lot of this comes down to your personal attraction. So if you're attractive, go for it. Like, you can't really mess it up. But if you're average, maybe even a little above average, be very careful with this one. Sounds silly, but women notice just about everything, and they're always going to notice your wrists as well. So we got a couple of things. First of all, I want you to always have a authentic, real watch on one wrist. It doesn't have to be an expensive watch. Even a Casio, I love watches. They're so classy. One thing we want to avoid is Apple Watches. I don't think any girl will get sexual desire from seeing an Apple Watch. It's not attractive if you're using it to track your stuff. I don't know, man. My iPhone tracks my steps just fine. I don't need the Apple Watch. But then another thing is you're also going to notice the way that you hold a glass. Hold a glass in a very calm manner. This is going to be much more attractive. But if you're holding a glass, squeezing the life out of it, or you're doing like a pinkies up type of thing, you don't really know what you're doing, that is a huge, huge turnoff. They pick up on everything. Kind of in the same field as the eye gaze, the eye contact is going to be a slight biting of the lips. So whenever you're talking to her, whatever it is, only one time max, very, very subtle bite on the lips. I'm not even going to do an example. You guys are going to take that one and run with it, but you want to make sure it's so subtle. Like, you can barely even tell that you're doing it. If it's too much, it's going to look a little cringy. Imperfections are sexy, believe it or not. So having a slight scar, whether it's on your face or just something a little bit off that does not make you perfect, is always going to be a very attractive trait. A thigh to waist ratio is something they're always going to notice. So whenever you get those outer like curves on the thighs, you look like a freaking Super Saiyan from the lower body down. This is a very attractive trait. Girls always notice the legs, and you need to be focusing on the legs just as much as you are the upper body to create that overall X physique. They love it whenever you're walking through a crowd and you have complete control, complete dominance. Like, you take their hand and you actually lead them through the crowd. You can see everything, you know exactly where to go. And overall, you operate through the crowds very, very well. Women are actually insanely attracted to this, and it's something that you would never even think about. A little bit of edge without going too far. So having a couple piercings, maybe a couple of tattoos, it adds a little bit of an edge. It adds a little bit of a question without you looking like you can't even fit into society, without you having face tattoos and 10 freaking nose piercings that just go way too far out. But a little hint of an edge is always going to be very sexy. Last but not least is going to be still hands. They don't want to see your hands shaking. They don't want to see you looking visually anxious. They don't want to see you fidgeting. You're on a date, you're talking to a girl, oh my god, I can't stop touching myself. Stop this stuff, man. It is not attractive to be fidgeting. That calm energy is going to be one of the most attractive things you can do. But that's it, man. Subscribe if you are new. I love you with all of my heart. Peace.